Thanks for watching The Instant Reaction. For full episodes of the Cannon Podcast, sign up as a YouTube member on this channel or go to patreon.com/thecannonpod.
Welcome to The Instant Reaction. Arsenal 0, Aston Villa 2. I don't want to do this, to be honest. Really don't want to do this. But we've got to put that game into some form of sense, make sense of it, talk about it in some way. The first thing I'll say is mathematically the title race isn't over. So anyone saying it's over mathematically or it's completely over, whatever, they are wrong. But it does feel over, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does feel over.
It reminds me of the Brighton game last year.
Yeah. Really poor. I mean, that second half was so poor. We'll come on to all of the reasons for it, but yeah, it's really poor. And what's frustrating is it feels like again we're back at the same. It's not a team, went through us and absolutely we beat ourselves again. I think we had something like 1.87 XG
in the first half. Yeah,
we should have. We should have put that game to bed. We should have put that game to bed.
I think a lot of it comes down to, in my eyes, what I saw was a team in the second half that was just shattered. In the first half, it was a high intensity. And it's all well and great when you see Trossard drop into left back and he's winning the ball back, but at one point that's going to hurt you because you can't sustain it over 90 minutes. Not if you've got a Champions League game you've had in midweek where you've done the same thing in a high intense game. So I don't want to make excuses for the players. That's for sure. But the second half looked like it's tired, and people go, "Why did he take Odegaard off? Why do you think he took Odegaard off?" Because he was shattered. You could tell his first half influence is there, and the second half, you see, we see him run so often and press so often. We do that. We think it's amazing, but we're not doing that ourselves. We can watch it and go chase him again, but at one point, a human is a human, and he's going to catch him out. And I saw a team in the second half, because we know the quality is there. We know we're a better side of it. We know that we've got the tactics and all that type of stuff. But in this game, because we didn't take our chance in the first half, second half was just Villa taking over. And I don't think the players were scared. I just think they physically just weren't competing like they normally would. And a massive part of Arteta's game was physique. And I just saw a massive drop-off. Yeah. And that's how I saw the game, at least.
No, I think it's a massive part of it. Yeah, just physically, we were second best at everything, literally everything. Yeah. In the second half, did we win a duel in the second half? I can't remember one.
And it's like I can come out and say it's a disgrace, it's a shambles, but I can see where that problem lies. Well, it's not quality. I don't think it's quality.
Yeah, in the end, it's it's very easy to go, there's no excuses, get this person out. And like if you want to say that, it's your choice. But I think if we're trying to actually analyze the situation, there's a difference between a reason and an excuse. The reason, I think part of the reason is the players did look physically knackered, but that's not an excuse. It's okay to say that because it is a reason why, but it's not an excuse. We should be managing the minutes better. We should have a better squad to be able to manage that. We should be dealing with recovery better. There's hundreds of things we can actually control to ensure that's not happening. Are we rotating enough during the season when we've won games, in the manner that we have, and Ben White's still playing however many minutes he's playing, and Gabriel and Saliba still playing how many minutes they're playing, and Declan Rice is still on the pitch, at 6-0 against West Ham. It's like, do we need that? So, there's a reason, there's reasons and there's excuses. So, it's really, it's going to be really hard to get some perspective on this, and it's going to be really hard to recover from this. Wednesday feels like a massive mountain to climb. Look, people aren't going to like hearing this. There's every world where City have a draw a game and we're back in it and we beat Bayern and we're having a completely different conversation. It's not outside of the realms of possibility, but I'm not trying to do copium here. I'm just saying there are possibilities.
No. I don't think it's copium. I think it's very logical, actually. I know City have got a fantastic record towards the end of the season, but they've got tricky ties that they've always struggled with notoriously. Spurs way, they rarely win that, and I don't want to rely on Spurs, but it is something there. We've got Old Trafford away as well, so it's far from over. And if I thought it was over, we'd just stop watching the games by now. So fans are still going to watch again because they still think it's a chance. And who predicted Liverpool to lose to Crystal Palace at home?
Yep.
No one. Who predicted Arsenal to just Villa at home? Not many people. So anything's really possible, and that's what football's like. Especially at this latter part of the season, there's always going to be a shock. There's always going to be shocks. And I think today, for example, the person that was annoying me the most was definitely Zinchenko. I'm not going to hide it, because the things that he was trying in moments of games, and look, Villa came close twice before scoring. Hit the post and hit the post again, and then Zinchenko trying to nutmeg a player when he was trying to get out of corner, things like that. I feel like my biggest annoyance today is why Mikel changed from something that was working so well in playing Havertz up front, or having Jorginho play as a 6 and having Rice as an 8. Leaving Kivy on the bench again, or not playing Tomiyasu when he's clearly fit and available. Why? Because I think if we go back to the game against Villa at Villa Park, my annoyance was that we treated it like a little game. So our big game tactic is playing Jorginho with Rice. Villa are a big game because there's a reason why they're fighting for the Champions League, and we treated it like they were a Luton. They're going to park the bus and we're going to have to break them down. We would, and maybe if we can bring the players on in the second half, that's the thing. But I feel like the issue for us was massively control today, and controls how Arsenal win games.
Yep. No, I hear that. Mafia, thank you for your contribution. Arteta and the team are not capable of getting over the line when it matters most. They always come up short at the end every season, and for the last 3 seasons, Arsenal failed to hit their target. I hear this. I think there's lessons that we haven't learned. I'm not saying there aren't. Equally, we appear to, or are on course to increase our points tally, increase our goals scored, and decrease our goals, against. So we are making progress.
Yes, of course we are.
The problem is I always talk about this. It's like, if the line, if to get over, to pass or fail an exam is here, and you get 68% when the pass mark is 70, you get the same result as someone who got 2%. So but we have to remember we are here, and we have been doing this. We are making progress.
No, we're making massive progress.
Frustrating.
I'm not gonna, and I know to say that right now hurts, because we're like, no, we're back where we were last year, but no, we're not. And I think the difference last year was the team, you could tell, didn't have the quality. The team has the quality right now, but I think today it was massively down to the physicality. And you can just see it, because we've seen Arsenal play better teams at Villa, with all due respect, and beat them more comfortably. But when you've had a game against Bayern Munich, a testing, physical, mental game, just a few days ago, most of those players start again. For Arteta to take off his captain, tells me that even he saw it. If your most physical player, who runs the most, can't do it anymore, then you saw it with Ben White as well, another player that's been so reliable for Arsenal, taken off. There's things there for sure. I don't think the title race is over, but at the same time I do. So it's one of those where I'm going to keep watching and hope for the best. And, look, with City themselves, I'm looking at their fixtures. Of course, they've got a few difficult ones here and there, but they've definitely got the most winnable ones. But we're 2 points off. So we're within range. And for me now, the biggest thing for me is, what do we do on Wednesday? And what do we do against Chelsea? Wolves. Those 2 games that will define the season now. Because you're going to have that bump. And this has been the first bump of 2024. We've been winning every single game. Every single game. It's the first time we lost in 2024. The issue with Arsenal in the past has been, like Matthew says there, is we can't get over the lines because we lose the game and we lose another one and another one. You cannot go 3 games again. We have to win against Bayern, or have to get through against Bayern if you can, and we have to beat Wolves.
Yeah, I think it's how we respond now, and I think you're right in that. In normally, what felt like the end of the last couple of seasons is, once we lost one. I think this is partly I think it's 2 big. It
happens this year as well.
Three main reasons. It's happened loads of times before. Also, in the times it's happened before, the manner in which we've done it is we lose one and then we lose loads. So if we don't do that, and also we know who we're up against, Man City. So I think that's why people are feeling so dejected, and I completely understand it. And people are entitled to their opinion. Matthew Brynjolfsson says Jesus shouldn't start. We have a full squad to select from. Well, maybe he should, but the point, I think I take Bhavs your point earlier. Why change what was going so well with Havertz up top? I don't understand. To put Jesus back in the team, I didn't understand that. I didn't see it had any particular effect on Aston Villa. Maybe Mikel can be asked about that and a reason why. He's not going to tell us why, but I would love to know the reasons why. I really would.
That was the most annoying thing for sure. Not seeing Havertz start up front, and I think his midfield performance was fine, to be fair. I don't think it was anywhere near where it used to be early in the season. But And you could see that tactically it was working on that side. He was making the chances, he was making the runs, and that worked. But Jesus up front versus Havertz up front, we just look like different teams. And we saw the stat come up that Arsenal will have 1.9 goals per game with Jesus up front, and it's like 2.6 with Havertz. Clearly, you are a better team with Havertz up front. He gives us a different focal point. And I think Mikel obviously will be held accountable for that.
Yeah. City haven't lost since December the 6th, mate. Yes, but they've also drawn against Palace. They've drawn against, just going through the results here, they've drawn against Chelsea.
Arsenal.
They drew against us. They drew against Liverpool. They drew against Madrid and obviously the Champions League. You know, this isn't, they're not winning every single game. And again, I think the title race is over. Like, I don't think we'll win it. And I have said from the beginning of the season, I don't think we'll win it. But mathematically, you know, it's to say there is no hope at all is just wrong. There is some hope.
No, you're 2 points
and
off.
it depends. Well, we're 1 point. We're 1 point behind them.
Yeah.
So you know, it's just
two, it's 2, right?
No, one point.
We have 71. They have 73. I'm pretty sure.
Hang on, let me check.
Yeah, we're 2. I'm pretty sure it's 2 points. But we do have the goal difference.
2 points, yeah. 71 to 73. So yeah. So we can get them. We've got a better goal difference. Yeah. Look, this is, you know, there will be people who are on all ends of the spectrum who are saying, "Oh, it's copium," or whatever. And other people saying there is hope. Whatever. We have to hold on to what we can hold on to, and these players have to go out there and say this isn't over. The manager has to go, this isn't over. We can still get through in the Champions League, and depending on what happens with Man City, you know, there's 6 games to play. There's a lot of football to play, so we just have to wait and see.
I honestly feel like Wednesday will be defining. Of course, it was going to be regardless of defining, but after this result, that's going to change a lot of how the season goes. If we can beat Bayern or go to Bayern, get a result, and get through, and to the semis, we're going to beat Wolves. But if you get knocked out of the Champions League, and you got Wolves away, which is not an easy game, by the way, then we could have serious problems. But, you know, looking at the season itself, I think you took this earlier, was a 1 point out of 12 against Fulham and Villa.
Yep.
These are teams that we know we're better than. We know we're better than them. I mean, Villa played obviously City a few weeks ago and they smashed them. Of course, they had no Ollie Watkins. So, look, I do not want to hear that we've not come further from last year. The team has changed for sure. My concern for Mikel was, why has he kind of gone back to Zinchenko, Jesus again? Right? When you've got players that are in form, that are working, it seems like he's been waiting to bring them back in. And I understand, by the way, they're very reliable players for him. And you must trust them in a certain way. But when the team's in form, and the form that Arsenal were in, by the way, it wasn't just a purple patch. We were scoring goals, creating chances, low XG against, all that type of stuff. And then you change it. I think, you know, it's kind of ruined the team's fluency.
Listen.
Why are we here?
We've literally said so many things. Kevin Larson, thank you for your contribution. Am I alone losing faith when Martin 11 comes on? Yeah, it's one of those things that we, you know, and we'll come to a conversation about Zinchenko. When we lose in this manner, we will obviously do a recce of all of the issues in the team. There's always going to be issues in the team. The Martinelli thing, if we'd said to everyone before the game, you know, can we get through to the end of the season, you know, and then fix the sort of dynamics with Martinelli in the summer and still win the title? I think most people would have said, yeah, probably, you know, we can get through it and he can contribute. Maybe it's not quite working, but other players are kind of stepping up. Yeah. But obviously it then becomes a massive issue when when we don't win, and there's always going to be issues. So I don't know. I'm not saying it's, you know, I'm not saying it's, you know, something that we can let go. It's something I want to address 100%. And I think that the left-hand side dynamics looked a little bit better today with Trossard and Havertz when they were playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a concern. But, you know, it's one of those things that has been bumped up on the priority list because we've lost.
Yeah, of course. The way I see it is, when we fell short last year, there was clear problems. You knew exactly what to fix. This year, if you look at the problems, people will say it's quite a bit of variation in it. People don't quite know what is there to improve massively, at least. Like, I don't hear people saying today, let's go buy a striker, which is what you think we were asking for. They're talking about left wing here, better subs, minute things. So we are getting closer, and I think people know that for sure as well. But there will be fans right now. I told you so. You're not an Arsenal fan. You know, I'm sorry. You're not an Arsenal. If you're telling me you told me so that my team is not going to win a title, and you say you're an Arsenal fan, who are you supporting? Me or yourself?
No, true. True, and I am one of those people who didn't think we'd win the title, but I'm not sat here
Support
with
the team, man. That's what it
any
is.
glee in my heart.
Call him out. Yep.
It's
There's nothing wrong with calling. We've in this entire video we've been calling things to change, things to improve. That's what fans do. But ultimately, it comes down to the fine margins. Leandro Trossard in the first half has a chance to put the ball into the back of the net, and he goes straight down the middle. Watkins takes a shot and it bounces just outside the post. That's the fine margins of football. And I think now fans realise again, because they remember from last year, what it feels like to be in this title running. And these games where you're like, okay, no, Villa on paper, yeah, you win that game. But no. Like last year, Brighton at home was a win game. No. But look, I still have a sense of optimism. I'm still a sense of calm because I feel like these players, especially with the players that we have available right now, there isn't massive injuries. The players have the quality there. If Mikel can kind of go back to the Havertz and Kiwior route with Jorginho, I think we have the capability to still win the remaining games. There was always going to be a loss. We were not going to win every single game until the end of the season. I always knew that. This is the loss. Now we take it on the chin and we see how far we get towards the end of the season.
Cosmin, thank you so much for your contribution. Excuse for Arteta, please. 8 wins, 1 draw. Havertz centre forward. You play him midfielder. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand that. I don't understand.
Do you think he overthought the game? In a sense of he's like, Villa are going to play this certain way, so I need to have Havertz there.
Yeah, but him overthinking has got us to the best period of form.
Of course.
Him making those tweaks when he wins, we all go, "Oh, how brilliant! He's a genius." And when it's like, look, I'm not saying it to you, but so
of course.
We have to accept that sometimes the tweaks aren't going to work. It's like you said, we are. If we'd said to every single person, "Are we going to win every single game before the end of the season?" everyone would have said no. Or would have said, probably not. It's disappointing. Obviously, the way we lost it is not acceptable. I don't think, I think there's lessons we haven't learned from last season in terms of sort of putting our heads down. I think there's issues with, obviously, what Arteta did with the lineup. I don't agree with it. There's loads of things that we can criticize. But we also have to hold on to the fact that, it's trying to find that fine balance between chucking everything away and figuring out what's actually the issue is hard. Let's come to Zinchenko. I personally, the Zinchenko thing doesn't swing on today for me. It really doesn't swing on today for me. I think, if you look at the Bailey goal, he's at right back. He's in a different position, and obviously Bailey's kind of unmarked at the back post. But for me, that's Declan Rice's position that he's got to be looking at, and he's got to be picking the man up. But the Zinchenko thing, Zinchenko is defensively suspect. We know that. We knew that before today. We knew that today, and we'll know that moving forward. And the question is what you want to do with that. I wouldn't have played him in this game. When I saw him in the lineup, I didn't like him. But people coming away from today going, today is the day that I decided Zinchenko can't be at Arsenal. For me, on the first goal, he's not even in the picture because he's been dragged out of position, which is natural and normal. And by the way, you see that all the time with loads of other players. And for the second goal, we're caught in the transition. He's trying to get our team forward. For me, the bigger issues are like, for example, what are you doing messing around with the ball on the edge of the box with Tielemans? That's the bigger issue for me. What are you doing? But that's Zinchenko. And as I say, that's not changed from previously today or till today, so it depends what you want to do. I wouldn't play him in these types of games.
There's been a shift in how Arsenal fans see Zinchenko. Let's not forget, when he came in last season, everyone loved him. Everyone loved him. Go back to his first game against Chelsea in pre-season. Wow, this guy's perfect. He's exactly what we needed. And he elevated us from 5th to 2nd. That is a massive jump. Likewise, Gabriel Jesus. So we can't look at those players now and go, these guys are City double agents and they're awful. Get rid of them. No, they've improved Arsenal massively. But I see those two players right now as finisher subs. Zinchenko's the type of player where if the game's at 0-0 and it's 75th minute and you need a goal and you want to have more control, you bring him on. Starting him in a game when you've got Leon Bailey or you've got Moussa Diaby, I think it was a bit naive, and I think Mikel was begging for control, and it makes sense. But when you've got Jorginho available, you've also got Thomas Partey available. There's better avenues to do so. And I feel like, was it a costly mistake starting Zinchenko today? Well, you could say that for sure. But I feel like there's definitely a shift in how Arsenal fans see him. Inside the stadium, you can sense it when he's got the ball and he's not playing the pass quick enough. Fans are going, get it up the pitch. So fans are getting angry inside the stadium, and that's not something that a player needs. And unfortunately now he's got. So I wonder how Mikel, does he start him against Bayern Munich, or does he start Tomiyasu there instead? Listen, Something interesting about to go down.
I wouldn't have started him today, and I wouldn't start him against Bayern Munich. So maybe that's on the manager. But I agree. Obviously, fans in the stadium, but equally, he's kind of made that rod for his own back, by making the mistakes he has. So he's got to play his way out of it. It's kind of on him. Kevin Larson, when we counter attack, we never have anyone running. Yeah, I mean,
didn't we have the most counter-attacking goals in the league or something like that?
No, I don't think so.
I saw a stat earlier.
Yeah, I think the one thing I'm missing, and ironically, I spent the entire weekend making a video about this, which is
always right. It was always right. It's always ahead of the curve.
Yeah, but I don't like it because the video is basically we don't have a moments player, and it will hurt us at some point. It hurt us today, and the video is essentially saying if you go look at Man City, I think I worked out that they have 10 goals in the last 10 games that you could class as a solo moment. So it's like whether it's like Phil Foden picking up on the edge of the box and putting it top bins, or Bernardo Silva's direct free kick. Real Madrid have something like 8 in the last 10. So like Tchouameni spanks one from miles. Rodrigo goes on a dribble and puts it in the back of the net. We don't have players, and I think it's partly down to Arteta and partly down to the system and what he wants out of players. But how often do we see players from a direct free kick? We saw one today from Odegaard, but the last time we scored a direct free kick was something like January 2021 or sort of September 2021, something crazy like that. The last time we, when do we score those sort of long range goals? When do we see solo moments, not associative, nice touches, nice pass, someone connecting with someone else? Havertz in great positions today, again, looking to cut it back. Just shoot, bro. Just shoot. And I do think this is an area that I'd like to see Arteta improve on. Shiam, thank you so much. Title and over, reset, restart, and let's go. It's not that we mathematically can't catch up. It is being mentally stronger as fans as well. There's an element there. Look, we're on an instant reaction. People will say, exactly how they're feeling. I'm really down. Probably by the podcast on tomorrow afternoon, I'll be feeling a little bit more perked up, and we'll see. But yeah, mathematically, it's not like we can't catch up. Benny, use this to get yourself a few pints, guys. Thank you very much. We have too many fringe players that are taking space in this squad and are not contributing.
To an extent. I think I would like to see a bit more impact on the subs today, in terms of, especially Martinelli and Smith Rowe and Co, because you've got a chance to make yourself a name, a chance to do something really special. And I think a lot of the players, when you make a sub, you want them to energize the team. None of the subs today energize the team. There was no player to go, give me the ball and make something happen. A lot of playing with fear because you can sense the anxiety around the stadium, and that's where you need that type of experience. When you've got Kevin De Bruyne, he goes, I've been there before. You can give me the ball. I know what I'm doing it. And I feel like in the last 2 games, you've sensed it with the Arsenal players going, we're here now. We're in that quarterfinal against Bayern Munich. We're actually in the ahead. We're in that game against Villa. We can go 3 points clear or 2 points clear top of the league. And they've got nervous. And that comes down to lack of experience, of course, more than anything.
Mafia, thank you for your contribution. I've known nothing but misery supporting this team for the last 15 years. When is it going to be our time to enjoy it? I'm honestly tired. Yeah, this is another aspect to it. There will be people who, have been watching Arsenal for the last 20 years and haven't seen the league title. When we last won a league title, I was 7, so I wasn't aware. I think you were young. What were you, 5, 4? So we have a different sort of fuse box. But again, for me, it's about proper analysis and going, what is the actual issue? What is Arteta's an idiot, he's a fraud, he's a bum, whatever. Can we remove all those things and go, what do we actually need to improve to move forward? I think he got things wrong today, but he regularly gets things so right. So what are the things? And I think it's moments players. I think it's a slight mentality issue, and I think in the second half we just allow that to get away from us again, and I would like to see that addressed. I still don't think we have something in our forward line in terms of how we attack and how we attack the box and the box presence and different ways of scoring. A team being another year old, there's loads of things, but it's trying to work out exactly what it is tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In terms of that moments player, do you think is that a signing, or is it more a player that we produce that becomes that moments player?
If you look at Josko Gvardiol scored 2 bangers in the last couple of games.
Yeah.
It's about players feeling free to go and do that, and I don't think under Arteta our players feel free to go and express themselves. It's not either complete individuality or complete adherence to the system. There has to be some kind of middle ground. I think we've just gone slightly too far over to the desire to connect with one another and pass the ball into the net. And I just think sometimes you just want to let that individual freedom shine. Gaza, thank you so much. Don't have much of a problem with Havertz in midfield, but why is Trossard sub being our most dangerous player while Saka barely did anything and stayed on? Mikel needs to have the courage to sub him off.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I keep Saka on is because he's the highest goal scorer. So on paper, the most likely player to score for Arsenal is Saka. So, and I think that's why he keeps him on. And I think also in terms of the fact that we don't have a natural right winger, Trossard is more of the left, so is Martinelli. And if we had maybe a different player off the bench, that he might look to sub him off. Because if you're taking your captain off, he's taking anyone off. So it comes down to maybe a lack of options. And I think in terms of on the left-hand side and Trossard being taken off, I didn't agree with it, but it also made sense because fans are begging for a sub. So sorry, you bring on one of your most dangerous attackers.
Yep. Cosmin, thanks again. Don't do that. He had winning setup and he changed using first 11. Also inexperience. Was there some inexperience today?
I mean, it's not about inexperience. It's about the fact that he changed something that worked when those players are available and they're fit. And I think that's what he's changed the way we play. We have not replaced Havertz up front with a like-for-like profile because Jesus is different. We've not replaced Kivio at left back with a like-for-like profile because Zinchenko is different. Our form was no joke. So when you've got those players available and they're fit, why change it? And look, if I understand if let's just say Kivio's out of form, he's not trusted and play Tomiyasu there instead. But we almost went back to last season and we can see why it didn't work last year. So why is it going to work this year?
Yeah. Bhavs, it's time. Can we cheer ourselves up? Oh, I don't think.
No, because I don't think we will. It's going to be disgraceful.
Scott's not even posted it, so you can't do it.
Because I'm telling you, we did not win on that. Second half was all Villa, 60% possession.
Yeah, I think we would have lost on field too, which is the main issue today, really, Bhavs.
And it really shows to me because the first half we were so much better than them. Yeah. It wasn't like it was a good game, but we were so much better than them. It was like a normal Arsenal game. In the second half, that level of physicality just dropped, and that's why I'm telling you, it's not a quality issue. It maybe is a bit of an experience, but more than anything, is physically. It's very much physically. And last year, look, fighting on the title race, and you got one game a week, fell short because of injuries. But this year, now you're trying to go first league title in 20 years, and you're fighting in the Champions League at the same time as well against Bayern Munich, where the first lie is basically 0-0 again. So, look, I really think a lot of it comes down to physically, and fans don't want to hear that. They're going to go, no, this is the issue, that's the problem. And I find it intriguing that whenever Arsenal are losing, Mikel makes these things that some fans want to see. So, for example, he's playing Smith Rowe on the right-hand side with Saka and stuff like that. So I wonder now, having had that defeat, what changes against Bayern? Because there will be changes for sure.
Yeah, no, 100%. Arteta on why Odegaard was taken off. He was dealing with an issue.
Yeah, you could tell.
So yeah, I think you're right about physicality. And I think it's one of those things that, when football becomes a TV show, which it is to so many people, it's basically, why isn't my TV show making me feel good? You forget it's a physical contest. And, I do agree with you. A massive part of it falling down today in that second half was, how many...
was draining. Listen, man.
Yeah, how much football has Declan Rice played? How much football has Ben White played? Saliba, Gabriel, Odegaard, Saka, so much football. And our style of play is, I'd say, the most intense in the league. The fact that you've got Saka and Trossard chasing back Havertz coming from up front to get the ball back. Like, it looks amazing on eye, but 90 minutes in intense games, week in, week out, 2 games a week, at one point it is going to hurt you, and I think that's where you need to rely on the subs a little bit better. Of course, and then take the chances in the first half. The first half we had 14 shots or something like that, and then Trossard has that chance, and then Jesus as well. So I'm really, really, I don't want to say excited, but I'm fascinated now because we learn so much now about what this team is in the next 2 games. Yeah. Mikel, another quote from Mikel. He said, easy to stand up and be a leader when you're winning, but now is the time to stand up and be a leader. The moment is now. It was going to happen at some point, but now you have to react. Interestingly, saying a similar thing, we were going to lose at some point. Yeah, look, I think let's try and sum it up before we end. You can go first. Go for it.
I want to give credit to Unai Emery. I don't think we've done that in this video. I think his tactical performance was fantastic, and his team got a bit lucky in the first half for sure. But that was part of the game plan of just coming to Arsenal to win at Arsenal. You need to get a bit lucky. But the second half, the way they played and the way they played out of our press and just kept the ball so nicely, I've not seen a team play like that at the Emirates for a long, long time. And I think they deserve that win. And look, seeing that Watkins goal and the celebration, yeah, man, it hurt.
Yeah, I think, as I've been saying, really disappointed. It feels like the title race is over mentally, but that's from me as a fan, and it's up to the players now to look at themselves and make sure it isn't over, and then hope that City do us a favour. Whether they do or not is another question. But I think now, as Arteta said, we've got to stand up. We've got to go to Bayern and go, who do we want to be this season? Do we want to be another year where we don't quite reach our objectives, as much as there has been improvements? And it's not about ripping up the project, but as much as there has been improvements, is this going to be another year where we improve but don't quite go over the line? That's the question. And I think now we have to see that response on Wednesday night. We have to see that response in the remainder of the games. Look, it's really disappointing. No one's saying it isn't. Arteta deserves a lot of criticism. The players deserve a degree of criticism. I think a lot of it is physicality and how much a lot of these players have played. There's definitely changes to be made. I think you're looking at Zinchenko. I think you're looking at a forward player. I think you're looking at a number of things mentally, as I said earlier. But I think let's not forget how good this team has been this season. So it's about going, what is the actual things we need to do? What are the, not just get rid of them all, we're rubbish, we can never get over the line. Fine, if that's what if you're on an instant reaction, you want to say that and that's how you feel, cool. But if you're actually trying to analyze it, I think you have to start going, let's be really specific about what is the patterns here. And we will discuss more on the podcast on Monday.
Looking forward to it.
Last couple of super chats. Kevin Larson says, so people that wants Arteta out.
I don't think there are people that say Arteta out. No. Even you could sense it inside the stadium. It wasn't the team boos, and you could sense the fans are just disappointed because they can see the team's trying, and then they can see it just didn't quite work out.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Appreciate your contribution. Akash, Gabriel is our weak link. Cheer up, more to come.
More to come.
More weak links to come. Who knows? Appreciate your contribution. Gabriel, I thought today was... but this is a classic one. Gabriel, if you just watched today, you could go, he's not good enough. Gabriel's been brilliant all season. Had a bit
season
today. So, it's
Why do you think we're in this position in the first place, where we're in the midst of two of the greatest teams in the last 10 years of Premier League history? We're talking Klopp and Pep, and we're talking these two are the best that we've seen, and people put them in the top 10 and top 5 categories of all time. And then you've got Mikel Arteta there, who's in his first ever job, who's got all these players that without, maybe you could say, no moments players, or he doesn't have Kevin De Bruyne, he doesn't have Erling Haaland, he doesn't have Mo Salah, but we're there. And we're not just there where we're 5 points behind and it's game over. We're there because if a team drops points, if City drop point next week, then we're back in it again. So that's a title race for you.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. For this.
No, please do not.
Very depressing. I'm not doing touch balls today.
Yes.
No chance.
That's the one I can smile for something today. If there's one thing. If you did play that, if you listen, your intrusive is to relax right now. Because if you got any Adele, any recommendations, you could do that. Maybe we need to do a sad version.
I need a sad version.
Just for the sad.
I've only got Declan Rice doing Rice Rice Baby and touch balls.
Okay, we're not playing that.
Got a countdown. That's about it. Thank you guys. Really appreciate you all being here. Still over 1,000 of us in this chat after such a maddening defeat is it's crazy. So thank you. We really appreciate the community here. Really appreciate all your support on the super chats and commenting and being here after every game. We will be here after every game, win, lose or draw. Title race isn't over. Believe, even if it's copium.
It is copium.
It is copium, but we can move on. Thank you, Bhavs.
Thank you, mate. No worries.